So I thought I would do a video on a quick flip through of my reading journal so far. So it is currently the 7th of March and I am behind. So, I mean, it's quite thick already and I'm only 2 months done. So here's my first page, just saying that it's the reading journal for 2024 and going straight into my reading goals. So in my head my goal is 100, but I have made 120 boxes. Each different colour is a different month, so far in March I've read 8. However, 6 of these were tiny books, so they still count. It's on Goodreads, it counts. So January, February, March. And then I've just done some other goals that I have. This is if the main characters are LGBTQ, not if there is LGBTQ representation, which is what I look at in my stats, but this is just solely an LGBTQ plus story. Here's my bookshelves. I just colour these based on what format I read them in, so if it's physical, ebook or audiobook. This is up to date, and so is these pages. My bingos for the seasons. So you can see I've done most of these. I'm doing it from December to February, so I've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to do for December. And I ran out of space to write the actual book, so I've had to put a little tip in. And then this side is spring, so March to May. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these ones so far, which is all the books I've read so far this month. I'm currently in the middle of reading 2 books, Babel and Behind the Net, which I'm not sure if, Behind the Net can go as that. And Babel's probably that one because it was a very pretty cover. And I've just got the next 2 months there. And then this is my stats page. I fill this in at the end of every month. So this half is what I've read for the month. Break it down into these 5 categories and then put the totals here. So obviously if I own the physical copy and I read the physical copy, goes into that. Ebook would be either ebooks that I've bought or NetGalley ebooks. Library audio, library ebook, and then Kindle Unlimited. I obviously pay for Kindle Unlimited, but there's no point me even using it in February. However, this month I have read 7 so far on Kindle Unlimited, so that makes up for it a little bit. And then this side is just some extra stats. I have a really bad habit of borrowing books, requesting books on NetGalley and then leaving them sit there because I'm like, oh, they're just there. I need to read my Kindle Unlimited books, but I think I'm going to pause Kindle Unlimited soon for a couple of months and try and get my rating above 21%. Look, even though I've got 105, I borrowed an extra 5 books last month. Kindle TBR again is ones that I have bought, so I bought an extra 10. Sometimes they're free, so Prime First Reads, you get 1 free. Goodreads currently reading because I'm really bad at starting a book and then just leaving it in my currently reading, so last month it was 6. No, last month it was 2. January it was 6. I'm fine with like 3, 4-ish. Goodreads want to read. This was over 1,000 before the beginning of the year, so I actually managed to get this down to like 700 and something, basically by eliminating everything but the first of a series, because I'd just go, oh yeah, I want to read this series, and just put all the books, and there could be like 8 in a series. And then my Goodreads TBR is books that I own that I still need to read, which is not completely up to date, but it's more up to date than it was last year. So let's just ignore that number because 600's ridiculous. So it's my 5-star reads so far. Apparently I am a little whore bag for giving books 5 stars. I mean, I round up, so some of these could be 4.5 stars, but basically 5. And that's just for January and February. So I think these 6 were January, and I think all 10 of these was February. So this is my reading tracker, so I colour in depending on how many pages I've read in total for that day. I'll put a little dot in if I finish a book, sometimes 2 dots if I finish 2. And then this one's just a breakdown of the format. Just you can see, I'm all over. I don't stick to one format a day. I think that there's one that's all 3 formats. That was not fun to colour in. Then I've got my favourite showdown. I actually give Fourth Wing and Iron Flame the same, so I'm just going to class that as the 2 books rather than the 1. And I need to do Marches at the end of this month, and then I've got my first book that's through to the next stage. 24 must-reads of 2024. Most of these are not either the first in the series or standalones, I think, except from that one and that one. And it only goes up to July because I could not find any books pretty much after July. Like, it gets thinned out, so these are my 24. I've read a whole one. I have that. I bought that one. And I think this one's in a Fairy Loot or a Luma crate. So hopefully I'll get to that one soon. And I'm waiting for most of these, especially these, to become available on the library. I think I own this one as well. I think this one came in one of the book boxes. So I might be able to get that one done at some point. I mean, 24 books, I should really be reading 2 a month, but hasn't worked out that way. Next is my special edition books that I've bought. This is so far behind. This needs updating because I have more books than this that have came so far this year. Physical TBR needs filling out. I have not long since got most of my books out of boxes because I've finally bought bookshelves. So I need to get this list going. Audible, these are all ones that I have bought with my credits before I cancelled that subscription. NetGalley, this is just a selection of NetGalley books that I need to read, and then I'm colouring in with the month colour that I'm using on here. Kindle Unlimited TBR, again, this is probably going to get paused, but I am look, I read these. Okay, might as well colour these in now. This was part of the Meet Cute series, which is all the short books. I mean, I think the shortest was 40 pages and the longest was like 100. So they were very, very quick reads. I think this one was my favourite. The one that was actually the longest one. And I'm sure one of these two was my least favourite of them. But I'll have to relook. And you'll see a short coming out soon about that series. ebooks, I really need to go through my Kindle and fill this out because I definitely have more than 3. Libby TBR, I have far more than this. I've got about 800, but some of them are books that I own physically and I just want to listen to the audiobook, or books that I want to just read. I need to write the rest of the Alex Rider series in here because I do like listening to the audiobook of that through the library. And most of the time I do borrow audiobooks rather than ebooks from the library because I've got Kindle Unlimited and hundreds of books on my Kindle, so it's not completely needed, but I do sometimes borrow them through my library. The only issue is because I'm in the UK, I cannot read them on my Kindle, which is annoying. So these are book club reads. This is from a WhatsApp group. I have read none of them. I think most people have read these. For that one seems Christmassy, and if you can't tell, it's basically a smutty club. All this is smut. And then this one is on Storygraph, and it's books that I have listed as readathons, just for people to read along with me. I own this book and it's downstairs and it's waiting to be started, so I might actually do March's book in March, which would be something. But it's basically just me trying to get myself to read a book off my TBR, which is clearly working really well for me so far. This is my series tracker, which again really needs updating. A lot of these books are either on Kindle Unlimited or I own the physical copies of them. I know I own them 3. I think I might own a couple of them. And I definitely own that one. That series. Except from obviously Goldfinch, because that's... I don't think that's out. I own that one as well. That's on Kindle Unlimited. I have that one. I have that one. I have maybe 3 of those. And these are all Kindle Unlimited. And then I've got backlist tracker, so any author who I want to read, not just one series, but like a bulk of their books. So I think I've got the first few of the Shatter Me on paperbacks. I've definitely got most of these. I've read these, but it was years and years and years ago. So I'm just going in fresh. I have not read any Sarah J Maas books. I started A Court of Thorns and Roses, and apologies, my camera cut out. So Court of Thorns and Roses, I was in a book slump at the time I started this, so it did not get finished. And then every time I think about going back to it, I'm like, oh, do I start it again? Because it was like middle of last year that I actually started it, so it's been probably almost a year. But yeah, this page needs finishing anyway. And then books versus the adaptation. So the thought behind this is to read the book, watch the movie / show. I have not done any yet, but I will, probably. And then we're going to January. So I had 9 on my maybe next month, which is not quite a TBR because I am not good at sticking to them. As you can see, I've done the whole 3. Read 15 books. This is colour coordinated to how many books I was reading in that day. So for example, that was like I only read 1 within that day. Even if it's a couple of pages through, that might be 2 and that might be 3, but I can't remember how I colored them now. This isn't updated. I read that one and did not read that one. And that's just some new releases for me to see if I fancied any. I think I got that one, but I have not read any of those. There's my reading calendar. As you can see, I am all over with what I'm reading at a set point. So I finished book 1 there, but then book 2 was finished there. Book 4 was started here, but I finished that one third. 1,000 Body Kisses. So I started and finished that one before I actually finished that one, which I started earlier. And then I read less on a weekend than I read during the week, and I think it's because I listen to audiobooks whilst I'm working. Or when I'm not like in meetings or anything. 4,551 total pages. And then this is my stats, which is one of my favourite pages. So my favourites, these both got the same rating for me, which is, they were both 5 stars, but I think they were like an average of 9.6 or something like that. And then I put in the wrong one for least favourite because it was the third one of the series and this is the second one, but same vibes. Just, they were alright. I think they still got like 4 stars because I think I was really nice this month. Yeah, 4 star was my lowest. And then it's just a breakdown of the genres, the formatting, the length of the book, where if I own it or if it was on, which is basically on my front page, the year it was published. Everything was from 2000 onwards, apparently. My mood, my pace, age range, author location. And then I go into my spreads for my reviews. So most of the time, a book in the series will get a page per, so it goes to another series. And I basically go into making these, I go, oh, I kind of think it needs to have this colour theme, and then I just, as I'm doing it, I don't really plan much. So like I'd printed these out because I knew I wanted these in, and that's about as far as I'm planning mine. I'd got my washi, I'd got my paper, I'd got my stickers ready, but I was like, I have no idea what I'm actually doing with it. I'll just do it as it comes. I think that one's in. We've got February, so I read a whole one on my TBR. Out of 7, and I read 17 books. Again, this is not updated. I read that one, and that's it. Got it. Reading calendar, pages read more this month, which obviously I've read 17 books. I think I've read, how many more pages is that? Nearly 1,000 more pages. So bigger books. Have not filled this in. So that's, and then here is my spreads. I need to cut out all the tabs still. These were both 3-ish, so 3¼ and 3½. So I decided to put them on the same page, and the same for these. These were 1, 1½, 2 stars, and I did not have a lot. I did have a lot to say about these, but they're both biography, so I was like, same vibe, except completely different vibes. But yeah, this one was done very recently, and I have space for the last 2 of February, and I'm trying to like put a few of them together because I'm going to run out of space if I keep going as I'm going. I do not think I will have space enough for 120 books and all the months, and I would very much like to just fit them into one book rather than the second one. And then this is my March set up, which is not completely finished, but still need to cut out. Oh, speaking of not finished, February still needs cutting out as well. So I still need to cut out that. And this is my maybe this month, which I finished that one already. I am reading that and that, so already better than February. Need to set these 2 pages up and need to do my stats page, and that is it.